7 right now. So here's a question for you. How do you stop a hangover? Aspirin, hair of the dog, changing the order of your drinks? Everyone has a different idea.
It's not the last one, apparently, according to scientists. That whole phrase, beer before wine, wine before beer, la la la, doesn't make a difference, doesn't make you feel fine. Overindulging is likely to leave a sore head, regardless of the order of the drinks.
Sally Adams is health psychologist at University of Bath. Morning to you.
Good morning.
So you've been doing a study into this. Do you want to tell us what the study consisted of? How did it work?
I'm actually not the author of this study, but I am a research scientist in that hangover area.
OK. Can you help us with what the study
I can, yes.
said?
The study looked at the order effects of beer versus wine or wine versus beer, and then next day measured hangover severity.
So you've got, as I understand, you've got 90 people who are given the drinks in different orders.
Yes.
And what was concluded? What do you make of that?
There was absolutely no difference in terms of hangover symptoms the next day, suggesting it doesn't really matter in terms of the order of drinks, it's just the amount of alcohol.
What about mixing drinks?
There's actually so little research in this area looking at whether different drinks make a difference.
That's the whole thing, isn't it? That if you stick to wine, then you shouldn't have grain, you shouldn't have beer, and you shouldn't have beer and vodka, so to speak. You should just stick to the same thing. Apparently, the hangovers are less horrendous.
There's a little body of research that suggests that darker drinks might give us a worse hangover compared to things like vodka and gin.
So whiskey and red wine?
Absolutely.
Right.
They contain more of these chemicals called congeners, and they are produced during fermentation, and they might contribute to a more severe hangover.
There's lots of sort of perceived wisdom about these things. For example, dehydration. People think if they drink a lot of water during an evening or, you know, after they come back after their evening, that can help. Is that right or wrong? Yes,
it can. You're treating only one symptom of hangover, though, so you are treating the dehydration, but hangover is much more than just dehydration. It's electrolyte imbalance, it irritates your stomach, you produce a toxic substance called acetaldehyde, and that is really toxic to humans, and that's why you feel sick, why you vomit, why your heart races.
Talking of being sick, is it better to be sick when you're drunk?
Oh, wow.
In terms of hangovers?
I don't think there's been any research done into that.
Well, no, but it's what people say, isn't it? Especially, you know, you think, oh, I'll just be sick and then I'll feel less bad in the morning.
I think it's likely to make you more dehydrated because you're losing more fluid.
Sometimes people wonder about, you know, scientists researching things, because unless I'm much mistaken, what they've concluded from this bit of research is if you have a lot to drink, you're going to have a hangover. And I am thinking, we sort of knew that, didn't we?
We didn't know about the order effects, but there's a lot of things actually that we don't know yet. In the lab that I work in University of Bath, we're looking to see whether actually you might be impaired in cognitive processes that might affect your driving or your workplace performance. So there is a lot of important research to be done here.
You're talking about that's the consumption of the alcohol as in the day afterwards?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So when you feel fine, you think, my blood alcohol concentration is 0, I would pass a breathalyzer, I'm going to get into my car and drive or go to work. There is evidence that you might still be impaired the next day.
Even if you're legal to drive?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really important that we do research in this area and also educate people about how harmful hangovers can be.
Can I give you a quick fire round?
Go on.
Morny says, how does hair of the dog work?
No one really knows, but it's probably not a very good idea because you'd be giving your liver a rest for at least 48 hours after drinking.
OK, Lola says, do bananas really help with the hangover?
I guess they could. They contain potassium, and one of the things that we know that happens when you're hungover is you get this electrolyte imbalance, so they certainly could help.
Yeah, well, you've done well. Congratulations.
Very well.
10 out of 10 for the quick fire round.
I still think the answer is just don't drink as much and then you don't get a hangover.
It really is. That's the only real answer.
Surefire.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.